go? It's your boy Jay Best, and welcome back to the Straight to the Point podcast, season 3, episode 21. On today's episode, of course, I'm bringing my little brother Jerricks back, and we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do our no huddle segment, and following that, we're gonna get his reaction to my NFL tiers, and then we're gonna end this episode with the best thing we saw in Week 13. But as always, I want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports for something that I love to do. And without him, we would not be here right now. So let's go ahead and let's get straight to the point real quick with our no huddle segment. We'll talk about some of the hottest topics in the NFL right now. Trending right now, actually, Azeez Al-Shahir, defensive player for the Houston Texans, was suspended 3 games for his hit on Trevor Lawrence on Sunday. Jared, your reaction to this?
There was no reason for it. I'm not gonna lie. I seen a lot of people say that Trevor Lawrence slid too late because he was trying to get as many yards as possible. I don't see it that way. I see he ran, he saw somebody coming, he slid, and he saw him slide with enough time to, even if you're gonna go down, man, you could have, eased up a little bit. But you threw yourself at him full force, touched the forearm that had the little brace on it, and now the man body locking up, and it was uncalled for. And I think it was, I'm not gonna say it was a dirty play because I don't think he intentionally meant to, hurt him or anything. I think it was just a thing where, of course, he's gonna say he was already going and playing fast. I don't know. I don't know if there's a logical reason why it happened. I feel like it was just a bonehead move. Like that wasn't called for. It was unnecessary. You saw him sliding. You could have eased up. You could have, threw your body out of the way. I mean, I don't know. I just think that he had enough time to react. So for the people that are saying that Trevor Lawrence slid too late, I disagree.
Yeah, I think that this was the right move by the NFL. Honestly, I think it could have been maybe even one more game. We have to make it a point that we understand we changed rules to protect quarterbacks, but when you break those rules and when it's like this, right? Like we've seen sometimes where defenders get a roughing the passer penalty, and they try to let up. They tried to, but they didn't in time, right? We've seen where they hit the guy slide and they tried to let up. He didn't try to let up. He went, and like you said, I don't think he meant to try to hurt Trevor Lawrence, but he tried to send a message. If you're gonna run, you're gonna get hit. That sliding mess not gonna help you. That's basically what he was trying to say when he made that hit. So because he went full force into him, you got to enforce a punishment. I think 3 games was it's enough. I would probably did 4, but you told me that one of your friends said that the Texans defense struggled without him for the rest of the game, right? Well, now he's gone for 3 games. So what y'all gonna do without him for his and not only that, but he's a repeat offender. He did to Caleb Williams earlier this year. I want to say he had one more incident where he got a flag like this. So this is not the first time he done this. And he came out and he said, "This is how I play football. I play hard. I play." Okay, well, you're gonna sit down for 3 games and you're gonna think about how you play. All right. Next we got Mike Tomlin, 18 straight winning seasons after this win against the Bengals. What's okay? Yeah, go give your reaction to it.
Um, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. Coming into this season, a lot of people saw us as a bad team, like we were gonna struggle, like it was time for us to hit the reset button and truly rebuild. But I feel like with the pieces that we acquired over the offseason, acquiring Russell Wilson, you know, um, just the draft picks that we made, beefing up the offensive line, adding to the secondary, getting Patrick Queen. These are all things that we did not with intentions of going out here and being mediocre. No, we did this because we were tired of being mediocre. We were tired of barely getting over 500. We were tired of the 9-8s. That's not how the Steelers are. People are used to this in the past couple of years, but that's not how we are. We're not known for going 9-8 and barely. No, we're normally at the top of our division like we are right now and looking to have that first or second place spot in the playoffs. We are not, in my lifetime, I've seen us have to go on the road the first week of the playoffs. It's been very rare. Every time we've been in the playoffs, for majority of my life, and from what I can remember, we were always a home playoff team. You don't get that way by being mediocre. You don't. For everybody saying Mike Tomlin's a mediocre coach, he clearly hasn't been if he has divisional titles. I mean, yes, y'all are saying how many playoff wins does he have in recent years? He still had divisional titles. So you have to give that man some credit. And so for all the people that said we were going to struggle, we were going to miss the playoffs, we were going to finish last in the division, what are you talking about? Honestly, like, what are you talking about? Like, whatever salary ESPN's paying those people, they need to send it to you, okay? Because it doesn't make any sense. I don't see how a team can get better roster-wise, and you say they're going to fall back. It don't make sense to me. How do we go from making the playoffs last year with Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, a bad offensive coordinator, and then we get Russell Wilson, we add to our offensive line and make them better. We add to our defense, which is already good, and y'all think we're gonna miss the playoffs when we didn't even miss it last year? If anything, we should have missed the playoffs last year, but we didn't. We found a way to creep in. Now this year, we're sitting good. We already crossed the 500 winning percentage. So I'm not surprised. That's my big reaction. Like, I'm not surprised. I'm just waiting for us to go prove them wrong again when people say, okay, y'all might make the playoffs, but y'all gonna be first round exits like y'all always are. I'm ready to prove people wrong in that aspect. So I'm not surprised by that. I won't be surprised when we win the wild card round and even the division round. I'm just like, at this point, nothing that we do can shock me. If we take it all the way, that won't shock me because I've seen how good we can be this season. I've seen our high and I've seen our low. And I'm telling you, our high is higher than a lot of people would think. So, yeah, I'm not surprised, man. Kudos Mike Tomlin. I appreciate you, brother. But, hey, I'm not surprised.
Like Tomlin, you are so underappreciated. All right, because you do this year after year, and people still will bring up playoffs and stuff like that. But let's just stop for a second. This is not easy to do. Going over 500 every year you've coached in the NFL is not easy to do. We've seen Bill Belichick go under 500, right? And we call him the GOAT. We say Bill Belichick is the GOAT. When he's had a season where he's gone under 500, this was post Brady, right? Post Brady, he went under 500. Post Ben, Mike Tomlin is not going under 500, no matter who the quarterback is. Even when Ben was there, when Ben would get hurt. Remember the year we had Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph? He went above 500. Then with Ben, later on in his career, when he was a little washed, let's be honest, still went above 500. With Kenny Pickett, Mr. Trubisky, Mason Rudolph still goes above 500. That's not easy to do. So for everybody out there that's saying, oh, so what? So what? He goes above 500. So what? That's not easy to do at all, especially in the NFL where injuries happen. Look what's happening to the 49ers right now. Kyle Shanahan has no control over that. Injuries happen, and guess what? They're under 500. Probably might not even finish over 500 this year. It's not his fault. But Mike Tomlin, no matter what the injury is, no matter what the situation is, he's going to get his team above 500. But now, like you said, we have the team to go in the playoffs and do some damage. Over the past couple of years, we have not had that. Just to get in the playoffs, we was blessed. Just to get in there, just to get in the playoffs, we was lucky. So this year with this team, sky's the limit. I'm wishing, I'm hoping and praying that he gets to the Super Bowl this year because I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, y'all have fourth place written all over y'all. Y'all not gonna make the playoffs." First year, my time under 500. Now we get above 500. Now they saying we like first round exits. Like keep moving the goalposts, please. Please keep moving there. Mike Tomlin, go prove them wrong, and let's go make a Super Bowl run. I'm tired of this. You deserve your respect. All right. Next, speaking of Steelers, after Steelers beat Joe Burrow and the Bengals on Sunday, 44-38. Shannon Sharp came on first take yesterday, and he said this.
So you mean to tell me that you're pinning yesterday on Joe?
Hold on. This is what I know. He says he has to play at his best. If your defense can't stop anybody, what can't you do as an offense?
Shannon, there's nothing he could do there. That's a great play by TJ. The other team, there's nothing he could do here. There's literally nothing he could do.
Not turn the ball over.
All right, so Shannon Sharp basically blamed Joe Burrow for that loss, saying you can't turn the ball over when your defense is that bad. Well, all three of those turnovers was not Joe Burrow's fault at all. And before you go real quick, I have a stat that says that in 8 losses this year, so they're 4-8, and all 8 of those losses, Joe Burrow has 21 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. All right, in 6 of those 8 losses, they scored 25 or plus, and in 4 of those 8 losses, they scored 33 or more. Joe Burrow's doing everything he can. He doesn't have a defense. All right, you go ahead. Your reaction to this?
Ever since Shannon's joined First Take, I don't know what's going on over there with him at ESPN. He's been tripping. Some of his takes haven't been the greatest, and this is just one of the many. I don't know what you're talking about, honestly. I don't know what this man is talking about. This man sounds ridiculous, okay? It's getting out of hand. The fact that you're going to sit here and blame Joe Burrow. Now, the reasoning why he blamed Joe Burrow, if the turnovers was Joe Burrow's fault,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes.
Like, for people that, blame Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston, he had a nice game, but he turned the ball over and gave the other team points, and those were his fault. We can say those are his fault. So we can blame him. You can't blame Joe Burrow. All 3 of those turnovers were not his fault at all. The interception got tipped twice, once by the defender, once by his receiver. And then the fact that his offensive line can't protect him from Nick Herbert and TJ Watt, who, mind you, they're leading the league in forced fumbles, both of them, 1 and 2. That's not his fault at all. The fact that his defense let Russell Wilson go out there and do that type of damage, now mind you, we know their defense is not good. So you want this man to play an even better game than what he did to win the game? I don't understand. And mind you, if Joe Burrow was on a team that was above 500, he would be the MVP without a doubt. He's been playing MVP ball, but it's getting overshadowed because he has a bad defense. So we need to stop. There's no reason why you should blame him for that. You should give us credit, give the Steelers some credit, but then again allude to the fact that he has a terrible defense. He played good enough to win that game, and the fact that Shannon Sharp had the audacity to say that, it makes no sense. Shout out Dan Orlovsky for defending Joe Burrow and having some common sense. Stephen A. just stood there and just sat there and let it happen. Just let that foolishness come out of his mouth. So I'm not understanding what possessed Shannon Sharp to say that, but you are wrong. I'm sorry, you're 100% wrong. Like there's no reason, no rhyme, no reason whatsoever why you should have said what you said.
Yeah, and actually Stephen A. co-signed on it because Stephen A. said, "What about the 3 turnovers?" early in the debate. Whenever Shannon says it's fault, and Dan was like, "How?" Stephen A. said, "How about those 3 turnovers?" Like you said, all 3 of those turnovers was not his fault. One got tipped by the lineman, by D lineman, and by the receiver. One he got stripped. He had the ball with 2 hands. He was holding the ball with 2 hands, climbing the pocket. TJ Watt made a play. TJ Watt makes plays. And then the last strip sack, the left tackle didn't even touch Nick Herbert. Nick Herbert is so fast, he didn't get touched. And Joe Burrow stepped back 1, 2, 3, was about to throw the ball and got strip sacked. So Shannon he lost a lot of cool points with me because it's not the first time he's blamed Joe Burrow for a loss like this. He blamed Joe Burrow when they lost to the Commanders, saying he didn't outplay Jaden Daniels. Like, what are you talking about? Like you said, in those 8 losses this year, 21 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, you're playing great. There's nothing more you can do. Your defense is just that bad. Or in the case of the Ravens game, your kicker missing a field goal. Or in the case of the Chargers game, your kicker missing a field goal. Like, everything that's happening is not his fault. He's the last person I would blame in this situation. Period. And like you said, with a winning record, he would be an MVP right now. And in that game, outside the turnovers, he had 309 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and a 73.7, so 74 completion percentage. That's a great game. But those 3 turnovers was not your fault. The defense made plays. The Steelers defense is pretty nice, in case Shannon didn't know. In case he did not know, we make plays. We do this on a weekly basis. So I don't know, like you said, I don't know what he was talking about, but he was completely wrong for blaming Joe Burrow. I wouldn't blame Joe Burrow for any loss this year. Any loss. It is not his fault that they're losing. It is not a good team. Like I told you earlier this year, despite Joe Burrow playing good, I don't think they can still win these games. And now they say that 4-8 season is definitely over right now, right? Next, Jameis Winston, Jerricks boy, Jabbo, all right, went 34 for 58, 497 yards, 4 touchdowns, but he had the 3 interceptions, all right? 2 of them was returned for a touchdown. So, Jared, with the Cleveland Browns situation, should Jameis be the leading guy next year? Should this be his team?
I thought about this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought about this last night. Whenever the Denver Broncos scored, and it was Jameis Winston's turn. He's up. Clock's running down. He had to go back to drive. I text you. I said this drive determines if Jameis Winston is their starting quarterback next year. But then I thought to myself, and I sat there and I thought about it. Jameis Winston is your quarterback next year if you don't think that you are a quarterback away. For instance, us. Okay, us last year with Kenny Pickett. We could have sat there and we could have, added the pieces that we added and kept him, but we realized we were a quarterback away from doing what we're doing right now. Is Cleveland a team that's a quarterback away? If you're a quarterback away, you're going to have a high draft pick. Go and try to draft a quarterback. Go and try to sign a quarterback. If you're a quarterback away, if you realize you have bigger issues than just the quarterback position, that you need to be filled immediately and you can't go get a quarterback, then Jameis can be your guy. Jameis Winston, he's a solid quarterback. And we've known he's had turnover problems, okay? Man went 30 for 30 in Tampa. Okay, that's why he moved on from him. And we've known him to make mistakes. He's going to make – that's what Jameis Winston is. Now, knowing that, your defense has to be able to go out there and get a stop. I'm not blaming this on the defense any way, anyhow. But if they could have got that stop, Jameis wouldn't be in that situation. Jameis Winston he's more than good enough until it comes down to a situation like that. I don't think Jameis Winston can go win you a football game. He can't. If it's not within the first 3 quarters and a half, he can't drive the team down and just go win you the football game. Now, mind you, people are going to say, Jerricks, what are you talking about? He did it on Thursday Night Football against y'all. If you watched the game, you wouldn't be saying that. So I can see how people might say that. But if we're being real, that's just who Jameis Winston is. Like I said, now can he cut the turnovers out of his game? Maybe. I mean, he's so far along in his career, he's making the same mistakes. I don't think he can. But like I said, I just think that in that moment of pressure, being on the road, Monday Night Football game, the lights got too bright. He threw the ball inside when he should have threw it outside. Pick 6, game's over. So, like I said, if the Browns think that they are a quarterback away from competing for the division next year, from making a deep playoff run next year, then yes, move on from Jameis Winston. He'll still be your backup just in case something happens to your starter. But if not, then you ride with Jameis Winston, see what he can do next year, and see if you can really build a team around him.
Yeah, so I didn't agree with you at first, but then you spun it and you made me hop on board a little bit because this team is supposed to have such a great defense. Right. So with the defense like that, maybe you can withstand some of the turnovers that Jameis Winston is going to make because it's going to happen. That's the kind of player he is. He's a risky kind of guy. He gonna throw it. Period. It's either gonna be in the Browns' hand or the other team's hand. All right. The other night he didn't play well. He played bad only because 2 of those interceptions turned to touchdowns. Right. It was 2 pick sixes. You gave the other team 14 points off the bat. Right. So you can't do that. And to me, you can't win games with a guy like that unless your defense is just all world. And this defense was all world last year, but it's not all world this year. So I don't think they should do it. Um, like you said, if there's a lot of things they need to add to this team, then you might just have to keep them because maybe you're not gonna have a high enough draft pick maybe to get a guy that you want, or maybe you're not gonna find a guy you want in free agency, so he can be a guy to keep for another year, but you're not gonna win nothing with him. So to me, but it's better than Deshaun Watson. That's all I can say. That this is a better option than Deshaun, even with the turnovers. He gonna put it in the air. He gonna give your team a chance. He'll give you a chance to win because there was a back and forth game for most of the night. But like I said, giving the other team 14 points, that's not gonna cut it. That's something that he has done in his career, and he will do in the future if you make this guy your starter. So
Hey,
me,
man.
I wouldn't do it, huh?
Hey, they said the Browns still got a chance to make the playoffs.
Okay.
They said there's a lot of things that got. I mean, a lot of things that got to happen, but technically they're not eliminated yet. So
Yep.
we'll see what happens. But hey,
Hey, the
James,
Bengals are
hey, Jabo, can he pull it off?
look. The Bengals are technically not eliminated either. So what you trying to say?
You're right, my bad. And they play us next week. My bad.
Yeah. All right, but last but not least on the No Huddle segment, I want to talk about the Ravens real quick. I want to rant for a second, then I'll let you react to my rant. One thing about the Ravens over the past, really most of my life that I can remember, their most dangerous weapon to me has not been Lamar Jackson. It's been Justin Tucker. And this is a guy that from 60 yards, he was automatic at one point. Once upon a time, this is the best kicker in the league by far. Right. So to me, he has been a huge part of this team's success over the past couple of years. But now he's missing field goals consistently on week-to-week basis. And it's hurting this team. All right. The Eagles defeated the Ravens 24-19, and Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals and an extra point. For those of us that can do math, that's 7 points that he left off the board. If you add that to the score, and I know that's not how it really works, right? Logically, that's not how it works. Because if he makes the field goal, guess what? The Eagles did not take the ball at that field spot, on that spot on the field, right? If he makes the field goal and now it's a kickoff, it changes the whole aspect of the game if he makes these field goals, right? So you really can't just say add 7 points because it changes a lot. But let's just theoretically speaking, 7 points was missing off the board because of him. Against the Steelers, he missed 2 field goals. If everyone's saying the Steelers only won because he missed 2 field goals, well, for one, he's been doing this all year, for one. And for two, you make those field goals, it changes the aspect of the game. Not saying the Ravens would have won, but the game would have been different. All right, against the Raiders, he missed the field goal. Against the Browns, he missed the field goal. Against the Chiefs, he missed the field goal. That is 5 games where he missed field goals, and in all 5 of those games, they lost. So I'm not blaming it all on Justin Tucker, but he is not their savior no more. They don't have that to lean on. He eliminated. There's no more cushion for Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can't say, "Okay, I'm not gonna score a touchdown this drive. We definitely will get 3," because it used to be automatic. But now that he's not automatic anymore, you don't have that cushion. So now this puts the pressure on Lamar Jackson. This puts the pressure on John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh, are you gonna cut him? Are you gonna keep him? Are you gonna keep the field goal? Are you gonna go for it on 4th down? It's gonna put a lot of pressure on this team to make decisions. And to me, John Harbaugh has not been the best decision maker over the past couple of years. And Lamar Jackson, the more pressure you put on him, the more likely he is to fold. That's just what history tells us. So what's your reaction to the Ravens not having their greatest weapon anymore?
Honestly, I mean, like you said, we've been seeing this all year, okay? And whenever he went to kick the field goal, the first field goal that he missed, whenever he went to kick it, the little graphic popped up on the bottom of the screen, and it said how many he's made and missed from 50 plus over the year. He's been terrible from 50 plus. He's been bad, and that's where majority, if not all, like you say, he missed the extra point, but majority of his misses have been from 50 plus. So that changes the way your offense runs now. You literally that whenever it's like close to the end of the half and or close to the end of the quarter, close to the end of the game, and you see the little yard mark, the line that the team has to get to in order for a kicker to have a chance, that line has moved, and you have to get to that line. Because if it's past 50 yards, you're not guaranteed at all, honestly. And so what I think that means for this team is you have to go score more points. You either have to score more points or you have to get closer. So mind you, people don't say I'm blaming this on Lamar. I'm not, okay? I'm honestly not. But in the game, Lamar, if you see that your kicker's struggling, we gotta go score some touchdowns. We have to find other ways to put points on the board because the way that we used to put majority of the points on the board, y'all can't do that anymore. So as a team, you have to say, as an offense, you have to say, hey, we got to get closer. We got to go score more touchdowns. And so I don't know. Honestly, like I never thought I'd see the day where Justin Tucker fell off because mind you, Justin Tucker, hey man, automatic. Like you said, automatic. He has sent me home crying a lot of times in my childhood. A lot of football games I'll cry because that man, he just couldn't miss. A lot of game winners, okay? Like I'll never forget recently in the past maybe 4 to 5 years, the Ravens almost lost to the Detroit Lions when the Detroit Lions were terrible. But he kicked like a 65-yard field goal. He barely hit the bottom of the crossbar. It bounced in, and they won the game. That's the stuff that I remember from Justin Tucker. So seeing this is very shocking to me. And like you said, he has been a reason why he's not the sole reason why they've been losing these games. But I would say against the Raiders. Because literally, if he makes that kick, they literally win the game. But other than that, it's not all on him. But he does have to be better. And like you said, do you move on from him is the question. I mean, he hasn't gotten any better. We're getting close to playoffs. In the playoffs, every point matters. Every kick matters. Every possession matters. So if they move on from him, I don't know. And honestly, I just think, hey, if you're Lamar, like you said, it's added pressure on you. It's added weight. But as the MVP, people say he might win MVP again this year. If you're the most valuable player, you got to step up. You got to go score some more touchdowns, man. I'm not blaming on you at all. So for you, Lamar, I'm not going to say what I want to say. For you people that like Lamar Jackson a lot, okay, I'm not blaming him. All I'm saying is we need to go score some more points if y'all want to have a chance of going to the Super Bowl. Because if Justin Tucker's kicking like this, you have zero chance. And I already thought you had zero chance. So that means you're definitely not going. So, yeah, man, it's very shocking from what I've seen out of Justin Tucker, honestly.
Yep, the Ravens' greatest weapon is not a greatest liability. In my opinion, that was the bar. Don't lie. It should have been a Dark Knight or something because that was smooth. That was smooth with it. Don't lie. Don't do that. All right. Next, let's move on to my tiers. On Sunday, I posted my NFL tiers through 12 weeks. I never got a chance to post it last week because of Thanksgiving. Had a lot of things going on. So I posted it on Sunday. And now it's time for Jerrick to react to my tiers. As y'all can see on the screen from bottom to top is worst to best. Jerrick, what is your reaction to my tiers?
As I'm looking at your tiers right now, they're solid. They're honestly solid. I rock with all your tiers. I don't see any one thing where I can say, hey, yes, I do. The Packers are not championship contenders. The
Really.
Packers are not championship contenders. They're not. I don't believe in the Packers. I'm sorry, okay? Conrad at my school, shout out to you, man. Biggest Packers fan. You know, he knows probably every person on the roster. No, y'all aren't championship contenders. From what
Why?
I've seen, because it doesn't outside of this Dolphins win, their wins aren't clean. None of their wins are Jordan Love, he's looking we thought coming into this year, we thought what Jordan Love did last year, with that the youngest team in the playoffs in NFL history, went out there, beat the Cowboys, almost beat the 49ers. We thought he's going to come in here and have an MVP like season
Yep.
and take this team far. You haven't been playing like that. You haven't. I'll tell you right now, he's my fantasy quarterback. I've been very disappointed. Now I will tell y'all, he's been, constantly having 20 points, but it comes at the end when I'm holding my breath because I need him to give me more points. Okay? He is guaranteed, almost guaranteed to turn the ball over. Almost guaranteed. Because he's starting to play a little risky. He's starting to roll, drop back, and he's just letting it fly sometimes. Okay, I want to say he's trying to channel his inner Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, and it's just not working out for him. It's not, okay. What I'm seeing from him this year, it's not what I expected to see come into this year. I expected him to take a leap and this team to be elite, for this team to be nice. But for them to barely beating teams, we're barely beating the Bears. We're struggling. I can't see how we can call them a championship contender when they're going to have to run into the Lions. I'm telling you right now, they're not beating the Lions. They're going to have to run into the Eagles. They're not beating the Eagles. These are the teams that you have to face if you are saying that you're going to be a championship contender. The Rams, they still have a shot. I don't see them beating the Rams. I don't. And those are three teams that you're for sure going to have to play if you want a chance at championship contender. So, yeah, I'm not believers in them, man. I'm honestly not. I don't see. Can you explain to me a little bit deeper on why you have the Packers as a championship contender?
So the reason why I have them this high is because, like you said, Jordan Love has not played the way we expected him to play. I predicted him to be MVP this year. Based on how he ended last year, I'm thinking it was going to roll over to this year. 100%, I agree with you on that. But because I've seen him turn up in the playoffs, last year he did, I'm assuming that right now their offense is going through Josh Jacobs right now. Josh Jacobs is the bell cow. He's the workhorse, and it's working, right? And Matt LaFleur, at the end of the day, yes, he's had Aaron Rodgers. Yes, we've seen Jordan Love throw it around. But at the end of the day, he wants to run the football, right? Because him, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, they all want to run the football first and play off of that. My thing is, when you get into the playoffs, I've seen Jordan Love do it before. So not only do you have Josh Jacobs in his run offense, but I also have Jordan Love in my back pocket that can turn up at any minute. So that's me just gambling on what I seen from Jordan Love last year. So that's why I'm still confident in this team, because let's get to the playoffs, and if Jordan Love turn up, now we got the Josh Jacobs running game and we got Jordan Love throwing it in the air. Like you said, it hasn't come together yet. Right, it still hasn't come together yet. And their biggest test is coming on Thursday when they go to Detroit to play the Lions. And I'm really excited for that game. And I got the Packers actually winning that game. But their defense, too, is also playing very solid. And Jair Alexander hasn't been in the lineup for the past couple of weeks. So I think that when I look at the rest of the NFC, right now with the Rams, I'm hoping they get to the playoffs. So right now, they're not in the playoff picture. Right now, they're in the hunt because they dropped a couple games and had no business dropping. And then, of course, because Puka and Cooper Kupp was hurt for a period of time, so the injuries killed them and put them in the spot that they're in right now. So outside of the Rams, I think they can beat anybody. Like you said, the Rams, the Eagles, and the Lions. The Eagles and Lions are above them on this tiers, right? But I think the Rams are the only team outside of them that would give them a run for their money. Everybody else, I would put the Packers over them. So that's why I believe they're championship contenders, because if they don't run into the Lions and the Eagles before the championship round, I think they can get there. If they don't run into the Rams. So if they get the point of three teams, I think they can get to the championship.
Okay, well, it's gonna be very hard because, mind you, they're gonna be a wild card team. So
if they now, of course, we're thinking the Lions not going to lose a lot more games.
they're not,
but
and
right
they're
now,
not gonna lose to them. So
look, the Packers are 9-3. The Lions have one loss. No, the Lions have two losses, I believe. I think the Lions are 10-2, if I'm not mistaken. If the Packers can go ahead and get this win on Thursday, then we having a whole different conversation. Yes, the Lions are. I'm checking right now. The Lions are 11-1, and the Vikings 10-2. The Packers 9-3. This is close, and the Lions still got to play the Packers, still got to play the Bills, still got to play the Vikings. So this can come down to the wire. The Packers can still win their division. It's still possible. Now I wouldn't bet on it, right? But they can still win their division. It's very possible. And you want to talk about close games? And then the Lions have a close game with Matt Eberflus and Caleb Williams on Thanksgiving.
They did. They slacked off in the second half. They just knew they had the game. They slacked off. That's fine. I promise you it won't happen against the Packers. I promise you it won't.
You got to win it 100%, no doubt.
100%. 100%. Whatever the money line, whatever the line is, move it. Try to tell you. Whatever the line is, move it. And then, like I said, a lot of the tiers are nice, but one thing I will say, I don't have a problem with it because there's nowhere else to put this team. Okay, because they don't fit in the tier under it. They don't fit in the J-Best special tier, and they don't fit in the first round exits because they're not making the playoffs. Their season's over. But it's the Colts. You say just one of them years compared to the teams that you have in here, like the Bucks. They missed Mike Evans for a long time. Chris Godwin's still out. For the Bears, I mean,
first year quarterback, coach got fired. They lost stretch of games by one possession.
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm talking about tipped Hail Mary. Like, that's just – there's nothing you can do about it. Tipped Hail Mary, blocked field goal. Like, there's nothing you can do about those situations. And then you also have the 49ers who, geez Louise, I feel bad. I really do. I feel bad for Kyle Shanahan, man. He can't get over the injury bug hit them hard this year, and they're paying for it. But the Colts, it's not just one of them years because I don't know why y'all are so high on them to begin with. If you go back and look at the NFL Vault episode, I was a Colts hater from the start. I literally said I don't see why people have them projected to finish so high. They're not going to. Look at where we are right now. They're not going to. Okay? I didn't believe in Anthony Richardson to begin with. And I mean, yeah, he went out and won the game against the New England Patriots. It's the Patriots. It's the Patriots. Like, let's be real here. So I wouldn't put them in this tier. Well, like I said, you have to put them in this tier because there's nowhere else for them to be. But I just want to highlight the Colts for people that they're in this tier just because they have to be. But their circumstance is not near the same as these other teams. They haven't really been hit with a big injury. They really haven't. I mean, you benched your quarterback. You didn't lose your quarterback to injury. You benched your quarterback because of poor play. Okay? And because your backup came in there and he stunk it up a couple games, you decided to go back to Anthony Richardson. So I wouldn't say it's just one of them years because y'all put yourselves in this predicament because honestly, you didn't have the talent to begin with. I try to warn people from the start. If people are trying to hop on the Anthony Richardson and the Colts bandwagon, this year's not the year to do it. So, yeah, but outside of that, man, you have some pretty good tiers. Like you said, the Chiefs, we've seen this before. They find ways to win, whether it's through the stripes or through Mahomes or through special teams. They find ways.
That is crazy.
Hey man, people look, man. People been dogging the Chiefs out. They've been saying that the Chiefs got some dark magic going on over there, and that they got the refs on their payroll. I mean, it sounds to me a lot like what people were saying back when Tom Brady was running the AFC back in the day.
Look, maybe it's because we was younger back then, so we didn't know as much as we knew now. We wasn't paying attention to other games outside of Steelers like we do now. But I don't remember it being this many times where at the end of the game you can point at a flag or you can point at this. Like, it's happened so many times. I'm not against people that say that it's rigged. I'm not gonna say it because I want to be a sports analyst, so I can't just say it's rigged. What's the point of talking about sports if it's rigged? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it, but people that say it, you got an argument. You should have got an argument. I've seen a lot of tomfoolery when it comes to the Chiefs in these games. But to defend the Colts real quick, my argument behind them going into this year was that last year with Gardner Minshew, it came down to one game. Win and you win, but they lost, right? So my all of my faith in Anthony Richardson, I'm like you. When they drafted Anthony Richardson, I came out and I said, "Why did y'all draft him because of the combine? Is that why y'all drafted him?" I'm not an Anthony Richardson guy. I am a Shane Steichen guy. So my thought process was, look at what Shane did with Jalen Hurts. Shane leaves, Jalen Hurts struggles. So I'm like, okay, maybe Shane comes to the Colts and he does with Anthony Richardson what he did with Jalen Hurts. That was my argument behind this. And like I said, we still have not seen him play a full season worth of games yet. So he doesn't have enough experience. But he did that with Gardner Minshew last year. Now, what can you do with a guy that's way more physically gifted than Gardner Minshew? Right? He's still young, but I'm trusting Shane Steichen and his coaching to help him out. And then you still got Jonathan Taylor to run through the offense. The offense will run through him. And Alec Pierce, who you call practice squad, that's a little what's it called? That's a little inside joke. But he's a nice target. Michael Pittman's a nice target. Josh Downs from North Carolina is a nice target. This O-line is solid, led by Quentin Nelson. So I had reason to believe. It didn't go through this year because Anthony Richardson played terrible, and that's why he got benched. That's another reason why I think I can put him in this tier, because how often do you see teams bench their guy, then go back to him a couple games later? It's not often. It's not often we see that. So that's why I said just one of them years. You can't figure it out a quarterback. You benched him. Now you brought him back. But they don't won a couple games straight now. Hey, the Texans, look, we just talked about what old boy. I already forgot his name. Aziz Al-Shir. If his absence really hurts the Texans and the Colts can stay hot, there is a scenario in which they can still win the division. They're only 2 games behind.
And the Texans still have the what was it? I just looked at it. The Texans still have the Dolphins and the Titans on their schedule.
Yep, that's true.
Do you see them losing to the Dolphins or the Titans?
Once again, how big is this absence of Aziz? How big is it? How big is it? If it's going to hurt them legit, if it's really going to hurt them, the Dolphins possibly. The Titans, heck no, but the Dolphins possibly. And when I'm talking about the Titans just beat them week before last.
And you think they're going to lose them twice? Especially if the playoffs is on the line? And Aziz will be back that game because that's the last game of the season?
If the playoffs are on the line, no. No.
Okay.
So that's why I said just the Dolphins. Just maybe the Dolphins. It's possible. First game without him, you ain't adjusted yet as much. You know, the Dolphins, they can light it up a little bit with Tyreek Hill, with Jalen Waddle. They can. Tua, that's a whole different story, but they can light it up. And then you got the Chiefs and the Ravens back to back. So, and let me look at the Colts schedule.
The Colts have the Broncos, Titans, Giants, and Jaguars.
That is a favorable. The only one I'm worried about is the Broncos. Outside of that, that is very favorable. It's possible. Is all I'm gonna say. Now they first round exits. They're going to be first round exits.
But it's not gonna happen. But what I'm saying is Anthony Richardson. Only reason why I bash his head in is because of, like you said, the level that people put him, the pedestal people put him on, from seeing nothing.
You're right.
You saw a couple games last year, and you saw the combine. Even in college, he was an electrifying player, but he wasn't a real consistent quarterback. He wasn't. He there's throws that he struggled with reading the defense, but he would bail himself out at times with his legs and with his arm power, which we're kind of seeing him do right now today.
Yeah.
He has one of the best. I would say he has one of the best deep balls in the league. Just phenomenal arm talent, and he can use his legs. But what I'm saying is, you expected Shane to come in here, like you said. You think they drafted him off of his potential due to the combine. He only played a couple games last year. You thought Shane was going to come in here and first year flip him into being a good quarterback? So, I feel like you're just jumping the gun. Will it happen? I think it will. I honestly think that Shane will get him together and he will have himself a franchise quarterback. But what have you been saying this whole entire time that I've been downing Anthony Richardson? Give him some time. He hasn't even played a full season yet. That's all I kept hearing from you. He hasn't played a full season yet. Give him some time. Okay, let's give him some time. Every quarterback, this has been my biggest problem with people that say Caleb Williams didn't come in here and he's the next Mahomes from day one. people that had Anthony Richardson so high, people that had Will Levis so high. Those are all quarterbacks besides Caleb Williams, because yes, he's franchise quarterback from day one. Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, those are quarterbacks that you're going to have to develop. And we've lost the narrative of letting the quarterback develop. We don't know what that, because for some reason, every fan base and every analyst thinks that all 32 teams have a chance to go to the Super Bowl from week one. They don't. Some teams, it's about improvement. The New England Patriots, they found their guy. Now it's about getting your team better. It's about, some seasons are about where are we going to be at the end of the year. And I think people and fan bases, they're delusional and they lost touch with that. As a fan base, do you really think that there's a Colts fan out here that said Anthony Richardson can take us all the way?
No,
There's
they
no
shouldn't
way.
have. They shouldn't have.
There's no reason why you should put that type of pressure on the young man. So whenever he is having a bad game, you're downing the man. Why are we expecting so much better? Now I understand, yes, he was playing terrible. He was playing bad, which you can't do. But why is the expectation so much higher for him? I think that CJ Stroud really spoiled that, and I think that Patrick Mahomes really spoiled that, including what we saw last year from Jordan Love. But mind you, Jordan Love had time to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. Some of these quarterbacks just have to step in and they have to be developed. And I think that's what people don't understand. What's something that Mike Tomlin always says? What's something Mike Tomlin said? He doesn't run from coaching. He runs towards it. So these coaches have to really sit here and develop these players. And if they can't, then are you really the right coach for the job? Some of these players that we see have the talent, for example, a Bryce Young. We know Bryce Young has the talent. So why can't he develop? At some point, it's also a coaching problem. It's not all on the coach, but at some point, a coach has to also help their player develop. And they should be able to if you're a good coach.
But
So
the difference between with Bryce Young is that going into this year, we knew they had no chance to go to the playoffs. The thing with the Colts is, like I said, with Gardner Minshew, he was a game out. He was a game out with Gardner Minshew. So this year, you have expectations of getting at least back to one game out or squeezing into the wild card. That's the expectation, especially with another offseason with Anthony Richardson. Like I said, that whole him not playing a season worth of games, that's a get out of jail free card, to be honest with you. But going into this year, I have to have the expectation that we can get to at least where Gardner got us or better. It can't get worse than that. And if it does get worse than that, then you got a problem at the quarterback position. You got a big problem. Shane, you got to fix it quick because y'all drafted him top 5. So that's why we push back on that.
that is true. But yeah, man, other than that, I want to applaud you. You know, you did pretty good on your NFL tiers, as you always do. I never really have too many big problems with your NFL tiers. You know, glad to see the Jets where they belong this time. You know,
Still bring up the Jets. Still
I'm not gonna let you live that down. I'm not. This is your Super Bowl pick. I'm not gonna let you live that one down. Okay, I'm not going to.
can't let it go.
I can't.
I'm not the only one in media that thought this team was going to be good this year. I had every reason to believe this team was going to be good this year, but hey, it happens.
What does this mean? I don't look at the media sometimes. I honestly, I look, to your word. I take your word for things, okay? Because the media say we're gonna miss the playoffs. The media say we're gonna be last in the division. I can't trust the media when they're around here saying that. I can't trust the media. I can't trust the media when we have somebody that's getting paid millions to say that the game was on Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's fault. I can't trust the media. You know?
And I'm saying that if I could go back and start the season over, I would do it again. I would back the Jets
I know
again
you would. Because you ride Aaron Rodgers.
because they have the roster to get it done. They just
What
do.
was the problem?
I don't know. I can't. Aaron, like I said, I'm not one of them ones that's gonna blame this whole season on Aaron Rodgers because the defense has looked atrocious at moments. Even with Robert Saleh, the defense has looked atrocious at moments. So I'm not gonna sit here and blame that. I feel like that's just so petty to blame the whole thing on Aaron Rodgers. Like that to me, that's not. No, I'm not blaming the whole season on him. He has a part in it. He's not the same guy. I knew that going into the season, he wasn't the same guy. I didn't think he would be this as bad as I thought he would be, though.
You're
So,
right. I mean,
it
hey,
happens.
I saw something where it said that since Robert Saleh, because Robert Saleh is in Green Bay now, he's helping them out, and ever since he's helped them out, I think they haven't lost a game, and since the Jets have lost Robert Saleh. Whew.
Haven't won one. Actually, I don't even know they won one. I can't even lie.
Hey, man.
But that's a
Yeah.
conversation for a whole nother day. All right, let's go ahead. Let's close this thing out with the best thing we saw in Week 13. Jerry, you're up.
The best thing I saw is whenever I turned on the TV and I looked and I said, the Jets are up by a lot. And then we get, we're watching the Steelers game, and whenever around the league, whenever somebody scores, they cut to it on TV and somebody talks about it and they show the play, right? I saw 6'5", 291-pound Leonard Williams drop back into coverage, intercept Aaron Rodgers, and take it all the way back to the crib. 92 yards. Not often do you see somebody that big dropping back into coverage. He dropped back into coverage, read Aaron Rodgers' eyes, picked it, and he was moving. He was moving. Like honestly, could you think somebody like him, he catch the ball, 92-yard return? A receiver got to be coming to get him. Somebody got to be able to get him. Well, they couldn't. And all you saw was a sea of white jerseys running to the end zone. So that is the best thing that I saw this week. And also the reason why I picked it is because you guessed it. It was against the Jets. Your guy, Aaron Rodgers. Just rub it in your face a little bit. Because mind you, coming within the next 5 weeks, we won't be able to talk about the Jets no more till after the Super Bowl. Because they won't be in the postseason. So no need to talk about them. So I'm gonna bring them up as much as I can until that time comes when we can't anymore.
It's okay. I love how Jerry was sitting here acting like I'm the only person I was higher on the Jets, but you had to win the division. That's what's really it's just baffling to me that you sitting here dogging me, but you picked them to win the division, and you also said the Bills was gonna be as good as they are right now.
Nobody expected the Bills to be this good.
I said they'll be second in the division.
No, I had them second too. I'm pretty sure I had them second in the division. If not, maybe I had them third. Which I really don't think. Like, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I really don't think I had the Dolphins over them because it's two. He is cheeks. That boy is terrible.
I don't know, but all I know is you had the Jets winning the division. You said that.
I did. Because like you said, on paper, they should have been up here.
Right. That's what I said.
Strap them pads up and put them helmets on there down here. I don't know why. Okay? I'm waiting for an explanation. Okay? I'm waiting for it.
I don't have one. It's a combination of everything. Everything just went bad.
Right. This is gonna be one of them what if teams. What if?
Maybe the Jets have a curse. Maybe they really do. Maybe it's honestly a curse in New York. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to it at all. But the best thing I saw in Week 13, I'm gonna take it down to 60, where my tribal chief, my guy, my QB1, the guy I said from day one, put him in the game, coach. All right, but everybody that loved Justin Fields, yeah, Jared came out and said Jared want to call me out. Jared came out and said, keep Justin Fields in. Why would we go to Russell Wilson? Why would we do that? And now look at Russ.
Was I wrong for saying? Wait. Before you get into why it's the best thing you saw, was I completely wrong for saying that?
Was I completely wrong for saying the Jets going to the Super Bowl? Was I completely wrong?
I think you was wrong for saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. Until this day, I said
completely wrong. Was I completely wrong?
No. But you were still wrong. I wasn't wrong technically. I said keep the man starting because he was doing well. Ride the hot hand. Because what would have happened if Russ came in here and it looked flat? And it looked like he hasn't played in a long time. He got benched last year. He missed the beginning of the season.
If was the fifth, we all be drunk right now. Okay,
you were correct. Okay?
You know what it says.
I was wrong, but you didn't have to bring it up. That was unnecessary. That was unnecessary. You didn't have to bring that up.
You keep dragging me about the Jets. I'm gonna drag you about Justin Fields. You wanted to keep.
Guess what? At the end of the day, he is still your future franchise quarterback. At the end of the day, the Jets are just cheeks.
That's what
I've been hearing they got betting odds on where Aaron Rodgers will be next year, and they don't think he'll be there. Somebody said he'll be in Cancun.
Hey, I've seen some people say Justin Fields not gonna be here either.
Well, they're just wrong.
I
Okay,
see.
that's the same people that said that we were gonna miss the playoffs. It's the exact same people. You can't listen to
Whatever.
everybody, man. You can't listen to everybody.
Whatever. Anyways, my tribal chief, my QB1, Russell Wilson, cooked in Cincy with 29 for 38, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns, had 1 interception. We can all argue it should have been a flag, shouldn't have been a pick, but it's okay. Y'all wanted to have a pick, that's cool. But he still had a 126.4 passer rating. A couple stats for you, facts for you actually. He's the first Pittsburgh QB with 400 plus passing yards, 3 or more passing touchdowns in a game since Big Ben in 2020. And this is the stat.
Since who?
Since Ben, whoever that is.
That's my tribal chief.
But
You forgetting Ben like he ain't bring you 2 of them things. Like,
I don't remember.
Two
I don't
Super
remember.
rings.
Sorry,
You don't remember?
Sorry, I don't.
You don't remember?
I remember.
For the second. You were 7 years old when we won the second Super Bowl. You don't remember that?
Don't remember. But I do remember. I do remember him going head to head with that bad man in New York that you're saying will be in Cancun next year. I remember going head to head. And I remember Aaron Rodgers beating Steelers in the Super Bowl.
And I remember Ben had a nice game. Ben had a nice game.
And
go do your homework on Ben with a 10 advisor.
And somebody had a better one.
Go do your homework.
Russell Wilson. This is a stat that pretty much sums up everything that I've said about the Steelers starting from offseason to now. Everything that I said, this stat right here just sums it all up. For all you idiots out there that thought the Steelers were going to be worse than what they were last year, for everybody that thought Russell Wilson was going to be worse than what Kenny Pickett was last year, this is the stat that shuts you up and lets you know that you don't know football. Because Russell Wilson is the first quarterback, Jerrick, listen up, the first quarterback with 8 or more passing touchdowns in a season since Big Ben in 2021. Since 2021, we have not had a quarterback throw 8 touchdowns or more. But adding Russell Wilson, we're going to get worse. Okay. Well, now we are 9-3 with the division pretty much locked up from what I can see. Pretty much locked up, going to the playoffs, and we might just be going to the Super Bowl, just to let y'all know. So Russell Wilson, my tribal chief, and Russ, I trust. You was the best thing I saw in week 13.
And Russ, I trust.
Hey, that boy Russell and Cincy tearing them up. And one more thing too, for everyone saying, he told a bad defense. The Cincinnati defense is so bad. Now, why did y'all bet on them to win? Why did everybody pick the Cincinnati Bengals to win then? Exactly. Once again, moving the goalpost. Russ has a good game. Now the defense bad. The defense is so bad, he wouldn't have bet on him. John Guillory. Yeah.
Whoa. Hey, man, you can't be name dropping like that, bro.
I did it because it makes no sense. How you gonna say the man's trash? They gonna lose to the Bengals. Then he go out there. Not only did he beat the Bengals, but he cooked them, put up 44 points, and now all of a sudden, oh man, the Bengals trash. Why you bet on him? Why you bet on him then? Make it make sense. It don't make sense, and not just him, but anybody out there that's saying, "Oh, it's the Bengals defense." Then why was the Bengals favored? Make it make sense. Don't make sense to me.
Hey, I got my 10. You get your 10?
Yeah, she got mine.
You got my 10. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, brother. Hey, you want to make it the best soon? Come holler at me. I appreciate it.
Please be on the Browns next week. I'm begging you. But that is it for the Straight to the Point podcast, y'all. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all enjoy Thursday Night Football with the Packers and the Lions. Clearly, I got the Packers, and Jerry got the Lions. We're going to see how they roll with it.
Hey. You want to bet on it?
You want to bet? I bet you 10 that he just sent me.
Bet. 10 that he just sent me too.
Bet. 20. Bet. All right, but y'all see me again on Saturday with Tyrell. We give you our picks and our bets, but that is it from you boys. We out.